Mentioned Luke Graham on that attack. Spiders are in their white jerseys today with red pants.
And we're going to see a boatload of number 2 with the ball in his stick. McAdory may be the best dodging midfielder in the game, actually. Very quick. And they start a lot of the offense with him.
Spiders get a deflection on that. Blue Devils track it down with 19 to shoot. And down to 10 seconds now as the Spiders double. Ben Johnston trying to move into a shot, and Zach Vigue not able to stop that one. Johnston bounces one in, and the Devils take a 1-0 advantage here on the first possession early in the first.
Yeah, even though that clock was running out, I was concerned when that ball came across to Johnson because that's what he can do for you. He's very athletic. He can split even against the pole and get his hands free, and he makes a great shot there.
That's his 15th goal of the season. He had 5 against Princeton earlier, and this is as the shot clock is winding down, and Vigue just couldn't quite get a piece of it. Zach Vigue has been outstanding for Richmond in the cage, but Duke takes an early 1-0 advantage. Now Chenoy rips one out. Chenoy transitioning quickly. He'll fire, and he'll answer at the other end. Jared Chenoy, who had missed the first 4 games of the season, back in action in the Cornell game and shows what he can do quickly.
It's made a huge difference. Obviously, his coming back from an early season injury, and there where the face-offs for Richmond have improved steadily since he's been back. And in the last game of the game before, he made the exact same play. And it's funny, I come out here before the games and watch the teams warm up, and he's practicing that play, picking up the face-off, picking up the ground ball. Second group out in the midfield for Duke, and it's been a solid unit. They've gotten some mileage out of the freshman Kirsch's and Blake. They have another transfer in this group, of transfer from Harvard.
Jack Papendick is out there starting in that second midfield today. Thomas Delgado will get some time in there. This is Kirsch's with that earlier move. And the Blue Devils answer that one quickly, scoring on a move in front of Vigue there.
Great look by Sloat.
That happened extremely fast. So we're now 2-1 Duke. We'll take a second look at it here.
They moved Sloat down to the attack. And I thought in the last game against Providence, it was really kind of a coming out party for him. You could tell he was really feeling it.
Ben McCarthy, Cal Girard, the other two who have taken a lot of draws this year for Duke, and now Engelke comes out with it. Quickly to the offensive attack, and a shot, and another Duke goal, this time from Eric Mulver. And Duke takes a 3-0 advantage here.
That faceoff guy coming down, and the defensive end there, you really want to hold on those attackmen, but the temptation to slide even late to the faceoff guy creates that space for Mulver on the side, on the wing.
So Mulver, the Maryland transfer, who had 111 points in his Maryland career.
They're not really 10-man, but they bring that extra pole up to provide extra pressure. And with their athletes, they're effective doing it.
Merklinger drawing the defensive watch there.
And you can see the poles picking up out on the perimeter. That's been a Duke characteristic for a long time.
Now Joe Sheridan trying to free up, gets it off to Lucas Olson.
And here's the second piece of this for Duke defensively is you got Aiden McGuire covering here. They have really athletic short sticks, maybe the best pair in the country, and the luxury of not having a slide in every instance, although they needed to slide right there.
That's a goal for Joe Sheridan, his 10th of the year. Got in close, fired up top. Gets the Spiders back within one now at 3-2 with 6:58 to play in the first. Let's take another look.
And again, I was just saying that they didn't need to slide to their short sticks, and Sheridan gets one there.
Free for the Blue Devils. Going to go to the sideline.
And I'm not a fanatic about statistics. I mean, I think you look at all of these things in regard to the level of competition and situations and stuff, but But Richmond is only 2 for 18 overall on extra man. So this is, with their sticks, this is a unit that should be better.
And you look at Duke, they've got, Oliver's got 5-man up goals, and then Luke Graham, the former Spider, also has 5.
That's his bread and butter
goals
in there. And that's what they almost created that in the all-even by giving him some space, and that's going to be his strength.
Merklinger to Olsen, and Olsen fires and
go.
scores from the wing. Little low-high shot from Olsen there, and Luke Olsen's got his 9th, and that takes care of that opportunity and ties the game at 3.
Changing the plane on that shot, low to high like that, it's a really tough stop, and that's a really effective shot.
Good shot from Luke Olsen that time. 9th of the season. And the Spiders capitalize on that man-up opportunity there. Violation.
Another win for Chinoy. It seems like Duke is stuck with Engelke here a bit.
Well, that's the first violation on the face-off.
So we'll see a new guy on the next one anyway. And here again, you see an example of the Duke poles out, picking up on the perimeter, forcing you to again, dodge with some presence.
And Richmond's going to answer another goal here as Merklinger tallies the A-10 Offensive Player of the Week this past week for 5 goals against UMBC. Picks up another one here. Spiders now out in front 4-3.
Starting about just a couple games ago, 2 or 3 games ago, Merklinger has really played like a senior and really stepped up and been a lead guy on offense, making plays and all. It's nice to see that. Hate to see them choose, and so when your coach asks you maybe to assume that role, there's some notoriety there.
Good stop that time on the Olsen shot by Jamison. So Duke now with possession. Down 4-3. Richmond ahead. 2:20 and counting here in the first. Offensive end now for the Blue Devils. Max Sloat here on the wing. Watched closely by Dunham. Tried to get a pick there. Sloat fires, and he answers from long distance that time. And Max Sloat with his 12th of the season, and it's tied at 4.
I think if Dunham winds up covering Sloat that far from the goal, then Richmond's going to need to support that.
Take a second look at it.
Sloat is very athletic. We described him as being big and bread and butter. He's getting open on extra man, getting open, and if they were running a zone. And Duke is familiar enough to know to be looking for him.
The Spiders had a takeaway there for a moment, but they lose it out of bounds.
Dunham.
12 seconds left on the penalty.
Little panic by Dunham there.
Graham's parked by that far post. Here is a shot that's going to beat Vigu on the wing, and a goal for Duke. Graham Blake again answering with this one here, and now Duke takes a 5-4 advantage on Blake's tally with the man-up opportunity.
That's a 5th-year transfer from Harvard, and the second goal of the day.
Dunham was kind of caught between 2 players there, and that left him open, and you see Graham at the top of the screen there, right by that far pole.
Graham has been
a little late. That's Farrell. And that's the call.
It's funny. We've seen more penalties so far in this game than we've seen in the last 2 or 3 games. There just haven't been a lot of fouls called this year anywhere. Talking about Richmond's statistics on that man up and man down, it's remarkable really how few penalties have been called in any of the games that we've witnessed so far.
So 1 minute on Farrell, unnecessary roughness. Duke will test this Spider man down defense, and they'll tally again. Look who it is one more time. It's Graham Blake, his 3rd goal of the day, and Duke now up 6-4.
Yeah, a little 2-4, a little double crease action on both sides. Really tough to cover.
Take a second look at it. You've got Graham in front, and then Blake slides down a little bit, and he's able to get one by Vigu. Vigu came into today 7.87 goals against. Alpaw chasing in tight here. Working against Connor Nolan. Far side to Pickard. He's trying to wheel around defense to get away from Keith Boyer.
We've seen a little bit more of Olsen today, but we've seen, I haven't really seen, have you picked up on Little John out there at all?
He's been out at times, but for the moment is not out there.
Yeah.
Here comes Olsen in tight, and
Nice.
he finds the corner. Olsen got that one through. Spiders get a tally and make it a 6-5 game now as they pull within one on the Olsen goal.
Almost on cue.
10 for Olsen now. We'll take another look at it. This just gets by his defender and takes it right in.
And this is where I was mentioning earlier that Duke's a little slow to slide to support their short sticks, and that
Left.
And like I mentioned, Chinoy just seems to have the ticket today. Hopefully we get more opportunity to get back to that one.
Richmond's out shooting Duke 5-0 this quarter. And again, that's significant because of the numbers we mentioned earlier about Duke's third quarter shooting. And another one around the net, Sheridan.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to shy away from that matchup with Christmas to go to the goal. Sheridan, again, probably Richmond's best outside Dodger, midfield Dodger.
Sheridan just circles around. A little bit from the midsection down low, and he fires it right through. Gets it past Patrick Jamieson. And now Richmond has tied the game up. 6 apiece. Spider bench reaction.
Virginia and Colgate and some teams that are riding 10-man or riding hard all the time. Everybody practices it. Everybody's a little bit better at it. But at the same time, with Duke's sticks and all, you would think they'd be a little bit better clearing the ball, taking care of the ball.
Nice work by Dunham there. Duke is 10 of 15 on the clear today.
That could have been a push, but again, we're not seeing a lot of penalties called, which I'm okay with.
Molliver trying to get away from Hunter Smith. Shot clock at 10. Smith doing a good job, but an in-tight feed and a goal there from Papendick on a great pass as the shot clock was expiring, and that's the second goal today for Duke with that clock winding down.
Just that little bit of space at the end there, in the crease as a defender, you can't be trailing that guy. You need to have your stick on his stick. It's a good look and a good. The first midfield is going to be most of their extra man players that would probably be their best zone unit. So that when their second group comes out, the zone can be very effective.
Blake against Packard here. Blake has 2 goals already. Throws it out high. That one hit something and came back out.
Crushed the top bar, I think, is what we would say there.
And at midfield, Duke gets it back. Reset the shot clock on that one. Off the top bar, it appeared. Duke gets another chance, leading 7-6 here in the third with 2:45 left. In front, a low shot and a goal. Nice feed, good shot, and Graham Blake has scored again for the Blue Devils.
Richmond drops into a zone. Duke goes to a 1-4-1. They've got 2 guys inside. Blake and Graham run a little switch play inside.
Well, that's 4 for Blake today.
Blake open on the back door.
1 against Princeton, 1 against Providence. There's McAdory, who's got 160 career points.
We've talked about one of the keys for the game for Duke being a little more balanced scoring, and the knowns, Maliver and McAdory and Graham, have been a little quiet, like you're suggesting, and some of these other guys have stepped up and made plays.
Shot clock's at 10 as the third quarter winds down. And there's another goal. Circling around the net, firing and scoring that time. It's Ben Johnston on the tally. His second of the day, and now Duke's up 9-6.
Yeah, at the end of the clock, you're dodging with a little bit more desperation, a little more urgency. Right off that pick, you could see that was going to be problematic. I'd like to have seen some of those Richmond wing defenders have dropped in a little bit tighter.
Racing ahead. At the other end, Aiden McGuire does what he does best to cause another turnover. Johnston spinning from Packard. Now Pilling drawing the matchup here defensively. And a shot from distance and a Duke goal that time as Max Sloat worked his way into the open space and is able to tally to make it 10-6 Blue Devils.
Sloat again continues to feel a little bit, and that overhand high-to-high stroke, really tough on the goalies. We talk about deception when you're shooting the ball, and that overhand tends to draw that goalie down just a little bit with that lead shoulder, and then to come back upstairs puts a really tough shot on Zach.
Well, you see Vigu there.
The riding piece has gone well for Richmond over the course of the game. Little John out setting a pick on the perimeter.
Sun begins to peek out for a moment here amidst the clouds at Robins Stadium. In the middle, and a shot from Joe Sheridan on the feed from Littlejohn. And the Spiders get one of those goals back. Make it 10-7 Duke. 11:33 still to play in this fourth quarter.
A lot of lacrosse left. Good movement off the ball. Nice handle on the inside. Good finish.
So Sheridan with the score.
Face off. The most important piece of that is what do you do when a game is being decided? And this game is clearly in the process of being decided right now.
Merklinger out front. And Richmond's got a 14-6 advantage at the X today. That one hit the post and ricocheted to the sideline. And Merklinger is going to win the run out there. So 14-6 in the face-off advantage for Richmond throughout the course of the game today.
The face-off piece is a little bit of a surprise, and the riding, effectiveness of the riding has been a little bit of a surprise in Richmond's favor. What we've also witnessed, you and I were talking about a little bit earlier, was, it feels like they've really had to work hard.
Creo with the tally.
Down the alley against the pole. Again, that was a same shot as the other one at this end, that overhand high-to-high.
Creo gets around the defense of Keith Boyer, and Richmond pulls to within 2 at 10-8, 10:25 to go, and we're back to the X.
Young players emulate right there, shooting the ball.
Gavin Creo's 6th of the season. Nice to see him put one in. Richmond back within 2, and Shenoy pulls out another one. Shenoy's got open room to work here. He's going to fire this one. He scores! Jared Shenoy, second goal of the game, pulls the Spiders within 1.
And now, does he go back and take the next face-off, or is he headed to the bench?
Shenoy, right from the start, took it away from Ben McCarthy. They left him alone.
You're looking at Richmond's MVP so far in this game, right there.
We're going to go to a timeout. Duke takes it ahead. The Spiders used to do that a little bit with Jeff Nugent, too. He'd carry that ball upfield on his own, break the clear.
Again, it's said it over and over again.
Big guy that can run, and you can't do much with him.
Yeah, you see some of these top teams in their best years, they just got guys that are bigger and faster and stronger than yours, and it's not that complicated.
Here's O'Neal. And a shot in front. What a shot that was from Littlejohn on the feed.
Great handle on the inside.
Ties the game at 10 as Littlejohn almost prone to the ground, able to put that one in.
And that's what Aiden O'Neill's coming to the goal the way he has consistently all day. That's what it does to a defense. It just softens him up a little bit. He hasn't finished every opportunity, but he's come to the corner and gotten some good shots, so the defense has to respect him. That creates a little bit of space on the inside for, in this case, Littlejohn.
Now, Duke closed on him, but Littlejohn able to finish. That's his first goal of the day, his 16th.
You need to favor his left hand when he's off the ball.
Here's Blake again now.
Staying with Blake behind the goal.
Hunter Smith on Blake now. This time, but Blake has had those 4 goals, and now he gets Smith. And Smith's all over him.
This is a little bit of problem here. Richmond needs to be ready to help out here.
Oliver with Packard in front. Duke answers. And that is Papendick again for another tally for him today. Second goal for Papendick, and Duke once again. Every time Richmond's tied the game up, the Blue Devils get the answer.
That's what a good team does.
Jack Papendick with the tally, is second of the day. Here's O'Neill.
McGuire's a really good defender, but your best attackman has got to be able to put some pressure on the cage here.
O'Neill fires and can't get it to go through. It does reset the clock, and Richmond will be awarded the possession there on that rundown. Wow. Spiders are fortunate maybe to keep a hold of that one. Merklinger in front, and that just is stopped in front on the shot. Another feed in front. That one turned aside.
Oh, they got it.
Finally, the third one's in. It's Littlejohn again. Lucas Littlejohn ties the game at 11 on his second of the day. Merklinger started this here. Littlejohn in front. That one stopped. O'Neill back in front. One more time. Didn't get through. Littlejohn stays with it and buries it. We're tied at 11.
Duke.
Dom. Here's Sloat. Had it taken away. Packard has it. Packard on the run. He's got to get past McAdory, who's pretty quick. He gets it ahead quickly, so Richmond gets to the offensive end.
If they can attack in the unsettled, they can keep those offensive players in the game. Got McAdory back there on defense. You got Johnston back there on defense. You got Graham back there on defense.
Yeah, McAdory's waving for people to either get off the field.
Don't give. There you go. Don't give this one away. This is when you don't call a timeout. You don't want to give them a chance to adjust their personnel.
Pilling is leaving.
Going to get a little bit of a numbers advantage.
And he does it again. Littlejohn on the feed in front. Littlejohn had been scoreless until these last few minutes, and now Richmond leads 12-11. A 1-goal lead for the Spiders with 2:52 left. That's your first midfield, of course, for Duke. And this crowd sensing the opportunity for Richmond on its feet.
They start with Graham behind, but he's not going to stay there. He rotates around with Maliver taken behind the goal. This is the one I'd be worried about, Sloat.
Sloat fires and scores and ties the game.
Needed to get through that pick really much cleaner.
And Sloat tallies and evens things up here.
When an offensive player requires only a few
game for his team after as many games as they've played leading into this one.
Yep. Pilling, Chinoy, Stull. It's been the face-off unit for Richmond. That's what they come out with.
A real scramble for this possession now. And finally, Duke has it. It is McGuire, and McGuire buries it. Aiden McGuire comes up with the huge ground ball off the face-off and takes it down to the other end and puts it in and puts Duke on top to end this one.
Yeah, painful for the Spiders, but what a great game. We were treated to some of the best lacrosse, high-level stuff, big plays being made by both teams.
Aiden McGuire had a heck of a game today, and this scramble for the face-off, and McGuire scrambling to come up with this. It's picked up actually by Kraus, and then McGuire goes to the other end and is able to beat Zach Vigu in a tough loss for Richmond and a big